the photo in time anyway, so we'll do that next time. But I got a call at like 4 o'clock in the morning from someone that had a job lined up for themselves, and then like at the last second they couldn't make it, so they needed someone to fill in. It was at like a big event. I don't know. I don't know that I'm allowed to like say what it is, what kind of event it was. It was like a big like industry, like a we'll just say, it's a banking industry. It's a banking industry event. Um, and they basically took over this like whole commercial hotel. Like I'd never seen anything like this before in my life. It was so crazy. But they decked out the entire freaking hotel, like top to bottom, all the walls, all the surfaces, and these gigantic like Goldman Sachs like branding just everywhere, like these gigantic photo ads with like Goldman Sachs messaging and all their branding just all over every surface of the hotel. Um, I guess the hotel was like a big what do you call it? Like a business convention kind of thing, right? So they had all these like big banking thing, and they just decked out the entire freaking hotel. It must have cost like hundreds of millions of dollars. It was nuts how crazy. Like, and there were hundreds of employees brought in to do like all of the event lighting, and I'd never been a part of something so huge. It was pretty neat. Um, just like the amount of manpower that went into putting on the event, it was astounding. It was crazy. Hundreds and hundreds of people tearing down like these massive trusses that are like all brought in from outside. They bring in these massive trusses in trucks, and then they haul them into the hotel convention room and hoist them up onto the ceiling and rig all the lights up onto them. Build an entire stage. Like all this stuff is brought in from outside, and they have to employ like a couple hundred people to unload it all, build it all, man it all, break it all down, which is what I was doing. I got called in on like the last day, so I was just there for breakdown. Unfortunately, didn't get to see any of the event itself. I just saw the aftermath. But it was pretty cool. It was a lot of fun. Kind of interesting to see how the rich and famous get around. Crazy how much money was flowing around this thing. It was nuts. Never seen anything like it. It was kind of cool on one hand, but kind of on the other. Um, so that was cool. It was fun. A lot of fun. I got paid, which is great. That's the best part, of course. Um, so anyway, I was on the metro into DC on the way in, and got some really nice photos. So I'll probably take one of those and make a new thumbnail. It looked great. So all right, let's do the news here. Let me get our views swapped over. Greetings, YouTube. Hello, by the way. All righty. Oh, here's here's our two babies. Look at these. Look at our kitties. This is Luna and Bobo. How fat? Look how fat she is. She got a spare tire. Luna has a spare tire. Look at that. Look at that. That is a spare tire. That's the ceiling cat, by the way. That's Luna. Luna's the cat that got stuck in the ceiling all those years ago. You guys never see her ever because she never comes out unless like I'm the only person in the room. The only way she'll come out of hiding. Bobo, you guys know a great deal more, great deal better. Yeah, they love their TV shows. We will put on their TV shows for hours at a time. They'll just sit there nonstop. Cutest thing ever. Two little butts squeezed onto that little chair. It's so funny. Just adore them. So let's see. Where's the last thing we covered? Oh, there's the photo. That's the one I was going to use. Crazy how good my phone. It's just on my phone camera. Crazy how good they've gotten. Ah, things you see in DC. No idea. What does this sign say? Ah, he claims to be the Lord God Almighty and has a message for the West. What you sent around will come back to you. Oh, the West, I guess, destroyed Cameroon. From Africa, I guess. All right. And he's going to make us pay for our actions. Ouch. He's got a whistle to let you know. Oh, where was the other one? Where's the demon? This is actually, it ended up being a great photo. Weird stuff you'll see on the streets of DC. Are we humans or demons? All right, let's see. Let's pick up with onto the news. We did that yesterday. Did that. Tulsi confirming an official probe into Anthony Fauci. Let's lead off with that. That sounds fun.
But the thing that we are working with Jay Bhattacharya, the new NIH director, on with, as well as Secretary Kennedy, is looking at the gain of function research that, in the case of the Wuhan lab, as well as many others around, many of these other biolabs around the world, was actually U.S. funded and leads to this dangerous kind of research that, in many examples, has resulted in either a pandemic or some other major health crisis.
Well, let me ask you specifically, because we already know that EcoHealth Alliance was partnering with this Wuhan lab to do gain of function research.
That's right.
We just have never been able to have somebody say, it was that exact experiment that led to this COVID bug. But have we gotten there? What's the new thing that you're digging in on?
We are working on that with Jay Bhattacharya and look forward to being able to share that hopefully very soon.
Okay.
That specific
link,
correct, between the gain of function research and what we saw with COVID-19.
I mean, that would be extraordinary, because just so the audience knows, if that's true, if it was Peter Daszak's research with the Wuhan so-called Bat Lady that caused this pandemic, then we did fund it. Then Anthony Fauci helped fund the pandemic.
The thing that he denied over and over and over to Senator Rand Paul's questioning.
Yep.
That's right, under oath.
Under oath, exactly. So is it any wonder that he sought a preemptive pardon for anything during a certain period of time by President Biden before he left office?
And then strong-armed and smeared people like Dr. Jay Bhattacharya, anybody who came out and said, I don't know if that's natural. This actually smacks of lab.
And the reason why this is so important is not just what happened in the past. It's because this gain of function research is happening in biolabs around the world. I got attacked, and I think you saw this, we've probably talked about it on your show before, when I warned against US-funded biolabs in Ukraine when the Russia-Ukraine war kicked off, for this very reason. Who knows what kinds of pathogens are in these labs, and if released, could create another COVID-like pandemic. And for that, I was called a Russian asset. You're, trumpeting Putin's talking points, all of this nonsense.
Sanity.
Simply for speaking the truth and stating facts that, by the way, are still on U.S. Embassy Ukraine's website today about how the U.S. has funded these biolabs in Ukraine. But my point is, in order to prevent another COVID-like pandemic or another major health incident that could affect us in the world, we have to end this gain-of-function research and provide the evidence that shows exactly why and how it's in our best interest, the American people's best interest, to bring about an end to it.
This is great. This has not really made the rounds out there because it's, well, I don't know why. I don't really know why. The guy just, for whatever reason, just didn't get any traction from. He's a smaller account. He's local here, Thomas Speciale. I've met him somewhere before. He's a good guy. But he's a former Intel agency kind of guy, what I remember. And he attended this event around here. I wish I would have known about it. I mean, unfortunately, I was working yesterday anyway, so I wouldn't have been able to go. But there was this event here, which John Brennan happened to be attending, and they took audience questions. So Mr. Speciale got up there and confronted John Brennan about, well, the use of the dossier and all of the bullshit in the Russian collusion hoax. So he got confronted on the stage, and apparently I didn't take too kindly to it. Let's see.
Anyway, why don't we go ahead and start taking audience questions? Sound good? Why don't we start over here? It should be on.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, good.
I believe that would be Michael
first I
Hayden
wanna
as well, right there.
Introduce myself. My
This
name's
is, after all, the Michael V. Hayden Center at the GWU something.
Tom
Mason?
Speciale. I've been a
Yeah, Mason. Where's Mason?
career intelligence officer for over 20 years, in the military for over 34 years. I recently left the DNI as a senior advisor for Tulsi Gabbard on counterintelligence and security. And in fact, I made many of the suggestions on dismantling some of the things that are being dismantled, and also made some suggestions on improvements, which I'd love to talk to you guys afterwards and get your feedback on, because hopefully it's going to be going to some important desks very shortly. I want to agree completely, Director, with your assessment on Iran being on their heels. We've got to keep them on their heels until they reform. We've got to do that. I disagree on the deep state, only because Trump says it's the deep state, but as we all know, it's really just the entrenched bureaucrats that run the country. I'll get to my question, I will. But I want to establish sort of my bona fides on this question before I ask it, because I really hesitated to put you guys on the spot on this in public, but if you're not going to be at the after hours, I got to take my chance now. I was at the DNI when the first ICA was released regarding cyber influence on the 2016 election. I was there, I was working in the NIM, I read it. I also was involved in setting up the Principals Committee meeting that took place in December that resulted in President Obama directing a more fulsome, because I understand the difference between a cyber ICA and a total whole of government ICA intelligence collection on Russian involvement or influence in the election. And I noticed immediately in the ICA, the second ICA, because I had access to the classified ICA, that there were statements in that ICA that were not supported with the sourcing that was associated to the ICA.
Look at Hayden. Look at that body language.
Specifically, that that Putin had directed the action, and that Putin had that the Russians were actively trying to support President Trump instead of just sow chaos.
Your question.
My question. There was an email that went around from General Clapper to yourself and Hayden. I'm sorry, not Hayden.
That's right.
yourself and Comey, et cetera, that basically said we all got to get on board with this, otherwise it isn't going to work, basically. And I think that email puts everybody in the crosshairs. I would like to hear what your justification was for supporting the dossier that was known to be false being used as source material in the second ICA.
Ooh.
I don't know who put you up to this.
Nobody put me up to this, sir. I'm here on my
I don't know
own.
what role you played or who you are, but it's a bunch of bullshit that you just passed on.
The emails are clear, sir.
Bullshit.
The emails are clear.
They're your emails,
The emails are
Brennan.
clear.
You wrote them. You
Second
participated in them.
No, I think we're gonna.
Next.
You can talk about it. Talk about it in the reception.
Russian disinformation.
No, we didn't say that.
No,
Get your facts
You said it
straight.
was likely Russian disinformation.
No, we did not. We said
Yes,
it.
you did.
No.
In that memo,
Read
it
the
says
letter.
that.
I'm
It's
ignoring.
signed.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
And I just like, I know I'm gonna get under
Yes, you absolutely did, sir.
Gonna be after hours.
No,
you're done.
Come on, all right, we're gonna go over here.
This is disinformation.
Let's go over here for a question.
This is disinformation. This is disinformation.
Much appreciated. Over
Good
here.
evening. My name is Tristan Witzig. I'm in my
Sicko.
last semester here at Mason.
Can't wait to see him perp walk. Very publicly. Speaking of.
There is a real turning in for it. And I think the big thing that's going to happen, Steve, I think the U.S. attorney in Miami is going to be made the key prosecutor. This whole case is going to move down. And Jack Smith's final actions in Florida are going to move the case to Florida. And then we're going to go all the way back to maybe as early as 2014 in the IRS and look at this as one large grand conspiracy case to misuse the power of the FBI and the Justice Department to go after MAGA Nation. This is a MAGA dragnet. That's what you see here. And one FBI official I talked to today said what they did, they took a boat into the ocean and they were towing to find any license plate they could tag on Donald Trump's car. They were simply looking for anything. You don't do criminal investigations that way. You have to have a reason to look at Americans. That didn't happen here, according to the people who've reviewed this evidence.
Where is this investigation going to go, and what are the next, you believe, major reveals we're going to see?
I think some of the people who were part of Arctic Frost are going to get both congressional and grand jury subpoenas. People will be hauled before the court and forced to answer. And I want to remind people something that Jim Jordan said on our show last night. Jack Smith's two top deputies have taken the Fifth Amendment. Prosecutors have taken the Fifth Amendment about what they did in this case. What does that mean? They think they may have engaged in criminality. You can't take the Fifth Amendment if you don't think you have criminal liability. That is a stunning thing. We don't normally see prosecutors and FBI agents saying, I'm taking the Fifth. You know something serious is here. And I think what's going on now is that people are starting to get grand jury subpoenas. I've been talking to defense lawyers. There was about 20 or 30 that have gone out in the last couple of weeks. The big conspiracy is now being put together. Now, whether a grand jury indicts, whether you get convictions, we'll see. But they're looking at a decade as one criminal machine, that the Comey, Garland, Jack Smith era was an ongoing criminal enterprise like a mob or mafia or drug kingpin. And the crimes were violating innocent American civil liberties to try to score a political score in politics. That is so extraordinary. I don't think I ever would have uttered those words. I ever thought I would utter those
1,000 times bigger than Watergate.
words as a journalist. That's what went on here. All right, listen, Jack Smith is.
Yep. It's Watergate. I mean, it's actually shocking how similar it is to Watergate in a lot of ways. But it's like Watergate times 1,000. It's they weren't just trying to surveil or break into and look at the communications of just a small handful of people. They were doing it to everybody. Everybody.
Is at the origins of the IRS case. There are emails between him and Lois Lerner that we focused on and some other people in the Justice Department. That same group carries all the way through the raid at Mar-a-Lago. The prosecution's up to 24. I think they're going to look at that as, hey, this was an effort to drain Republicans of money and reputation, maybe put some in prison to make sure that the populist movement that Donald Trump was building across America could be side-railed. They failed, and now because they failed, and we now have people like Kash Patel and Pam Bondi turning this evidence up, I think people could end up going to prison for this.
They will.
I think we're moving towards that direction. And the evidence is really strong. I mean, I had career FBI agents, very non-political, look at this last night like, my God, I've never seen anything like this in my life. What are we doing? This isn't FBI work. This is political opposition work. When people who wore the badge for 40 years start saying that about their old agency, you know something bad is rotten in Denmark.
Yep. You ain't getting it yet. I mean, you will soon. People are going to pay for what they did. I don't know that it's quite going to be what everyone wants. Which is, you know, like the maximum. I don't want to say quite exactly what that is, but I think y'all know. I don't know that we'll see that, but they will be punished. Quite sure of that at this point. And they will be humiliated publicly. And repeatedly for years on end. No, I mean, no one will ever stop talking about this. Ever. They are done. Only a matter of time, man. Walls are closing in. The United States cannot stand by while such atrocities are happening in Nigeria. That's right, Trump's stepping in for Nigerian Christians. It's a big deal. We stand ready, willing, and able to save our great Christian population around the world. Christianity is facing an existential threat in Nigeria. Thousands of Christians are being killed. Radical Islamists are responsible for this mass slaughter. I'm hereby making Nigeria a country of particular concern. Shocking that that wasn't done years ago. But that is the least of it. When Christians or any such group is slaughtered, like what is happening in Nigeria, 3,100 versus 4,476 worldwide. I don't know what that represents, like number of Christians slaughtered in Nigeria versus number of Christians slaughtered across the world, I assume. Something must be done. I'm asking Congressman Riley Moore, together with Chairman Tom Cole and the House Appropriations Committee, to immediately look into this matter and report back to me. The U.S. cannot stand by while such atrocities are happening in Nigeria and numerous other countries. Oh, this is great. Here's Michelle Obama doing the black woman with chip on shoulder trope. Enjoy.
You said we were all too aware that as a first black couple, we couldn't afford any missteps.
Yeah.
And you also say, as a black woman, I was under a particularly white hot glare. Did you feel that?
Oh my gosh.
For sure. You can't afford
Really?
to get anything wrong because you didn't get at least until the country came to know us.
There's all the white people watching.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't get the grace that I think some other families have gotten.
You said we.
Well, I mean, yeah, you fucked the entire country up beyond recognition. So why would you receive any grace for that? Entitled. Last night in D.C., National Guard had to fight to take back control of the Navy Yard from a violent mob of youths. Insanity. Like, what is this? Is in DC. Smack dab. It's in a nice part of DC too. I don't know about nice, but it's nice enough. Nice enough that this should not be the thing. And yet it is. All right. That's all I had tagged. Now I know Miss Steph has a whole boatload of stuff for us to go through here, so let's get scrolling. Excuse me. Oh, here's more from Navy Yard last night in D.C. Yes. Just kids being kids. Were they toppling the street signs? One's on some kind of drugs. Oh boy. Trump highlights that Mexican cartels are offering thousands for murder of American law enforcement. Wow. Wow. Criminal organizations in Mexico have begun offering thousands of dollars for the murder of federal law enforcement, with payouts escalating based on rank and action taken. $2,000 for gathering intelligence or doxing agents, including photos and family details. $5,000 to $10,000 for kidnapping or non-lethal assaults on standard ICE and CBP officers. Up to $50,000 for assassination of high-ranking officials. It's insane.
I think he always has to be taken seriously because he's a very, very dangerous man. I think he has to be taken seriously because children are my issue. That's why I'm in politics. That's my why, for the children. He's the worst president children in America have had in our own history, whether it's feeding them or whether it's safe environment for them to thrive, whether it's the economic security of their families, whether it's their health care, the cost of housing, and the rest. He is the worst president for children. There he is walking, the worst president for anybody, any president.
He's talking to a picture of Trump and saying hi.
In our history. So,
and then getting mad at it.
But right now, with the public has to know and really understand, and I respect.
Fried, deep fried, deep fried. Trump demands Rep. Ilhan Omar go back to Somalia. Bye-bye. Wouldn't that be nice? Denaturalize, deport. Goodbye. That'd be nice. We can dream, right? Daylight savings time coming to an end for 2025. Sunday, November 2nd, tomorrow. Clocks fall back and we gain an hour. That's right. Oh, now we got... Okay, leftist rioters and would-be assassins have pressured Stephen Miller and other Trump officials to relocate into military housing for their family's safety. Yeah.
Increasingly are facing so many very serious and violent threats that they find that the only option they have is to actually move their families and themselves onto military bases. Here's the list of some of the notable acts of political motivated violence. Of course, you had June 2022, the plot that was thwarted against Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh. You had the Paul Pelosi was attacked in October of 2022. Obviously, you have the assassination attempts on President Trump, both of them. You have the arson at Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro's home.
Yeah, and you have, of course, the Charlie Kirk assassination. And I think the Charlie Kirk assassination was such a shock to, especially to anybody who is in public life, that you could go with security to a university and simply have open debate, and you get shot in such a horrific way in front of college students. I'm still not over it. I'm just surprised how in the liberal media, it's just kind of just gone away. Here, a lot of conservatives, and of course at Fox News, we have not forgotten. We will not forget. But it has just gone off the pages like, oh, just another day. But the people who are not forgetting, especially, are those in the public eye. And so one of them is Stephen Miller. This is The Atlantic saying Stephen Miller joined a growing list of senior Trump administration and political appointees, at least 6 by our count, living in Washington area military housing, where they are shielded not just from potential violence, but also from protests. It is an ominous marker of the nation's polarization to which the Trump administration has itself contributed. I don't know where they got that from, that some of those top public servants have felt a need to separate themselves from the public. These civilian officials can now depend on the U.S. military to augment their personal security, but so many have made the move that they are now straining the availability of housing for the nation's top uniformed officers.
Jeez. That's funny. Prime Minister Carney of Canada says he's apologized to President Trump over the anti-tariff ad. So he's bent the knee, huh? Of course he did. Who dis? Border Patrol Union President Paul Perez on Fox News. All right.
This is what's sick about the damage that President Biden and his administration did to this country. If it were not for President Trump winning this election, we would be in far worse state than we were under President Biden with Kamala Harris. But this goes to show you that with a president like President Trump, who can actually come in and enforce the policies, enforce the laws that are on the books, we can secure this country. We can get everybody out of the interior. We can control the border. But this is just another disgusting act by the Biden administration, not allowing police to work with ICE, not allowing our agents to go into these sanctuary cities and arrest these people.
Yep. Oh, okay. Oh my God, J.D. Vance and the Halloween costume. My goodness, what a time that was. That was just
Happy Halloween, kids.
Yep, he did the meme.
And remember, say thank you.
It's so great. Hats off. I think he wins the Halloween contest. I don't know that there was Halloween costume contest. If there was, he won it. He won the whole thing, the entire country.
Happy Halloween, kids, and remember, say thank you.
Perfect. So good. Love it. Bravo. Tip of the hat. FDA says fluoride supplements are no longer recommended for children younger than 3 and those who are older but don't face serious risks of tooth decay. Previously, the products, that's right, had been prescribed for children as young as 6 months, and they handed that shit out like candy when I was a kid. Oh, yeah. Oh, don't forget your fluoride mouthwash. You know, the special one that they give you right at the end of the dentist visit? The weird tasting one? Oh, yeah. Disney networks, including ABC and ESPN, have gone dark on Google-owned YouTube TV after the two corporate giants couldn't come to terms on a new deal. Huh. So, they're mad at each other now? Elon Musk exposes massive fraud in blue states using federal welfare to make slush funds for illegals. Of course they're doing that.
That's what was happening. They were also giving out like debit cards with $10,000. So it's not just about medical care. Yeah. The Democrats mentioned medical care because they're trying to prey on people's empathy as much as possible, and then they imagine, oh wow, somebody has a desperately needed medical procedure, and shouldn't we maybe take care of them in that regard? But what they do is they divert the Medicaid funds and turn it into a slush fund for the states that goes well beyond emergency medical care. And New York and California would be bankrupt without the massive fraudulent federal payments that go to those states to pay for illegals, to create a massive financial incentive for illegals.
How would they be bankrupt because of that?
They wouldn't be able to balance their state budgets, and they can't issue currency like the Federal Reserve can.
And so their ability to balance budgets is dependent upon illegals getting funding?
The scam level here is so staggering. So there are hundreds of billions of dollars of transfer payments from the federal government to the states. Those transfer payments, the states self-report what those transfer payment numbers should be. So California and New York and Illinois lie like crazy and say that these are all legitimate payments. Well, these days that I think they're even admitting that they literally want hundreds of billions of dollars for illegals. But for a while there, they're trying to deny it. So you get these transfer payments for every government program you can possibly think of, and these are self-reported by the state, and at least historically there was no enforcement of California, New York, Illinois, and other states when they would lie. There was no actual enforcement to say like, hey, you're lying. These payments are fraudulent. Now under the Trump administration, the Trump administration does not want to send hundreds of billions of dollars of fraudulent payments to the states. And the reason you have this standoff is because if the hundreds of billions of dollars to create a financial incentive to have this giant magnet to attract illegals from every part of Earth to these states, if that is turned off, the illegals will leave because they're no longer being paid to come to the United States and stay here.
Wow.
And then they will lose a lot of voters. The Democratic Party will lose a lot of voters.
And they would have a very difficult job if this is kicked out of reintroducing it into a new bill.
Yes.
Especially once things start normalizing.
Yes. So, like, in a nutshell, the Democratic Party wants to destroy democracy by importing voters. And the Republican Party disagrees with that.
And the ruse is that if you don't accept what they're doing, then you're a threat to democracy.
Yes.
As they try to destroy democracy.
Yes.
By importing voters.
That is literally what they're doing.
People to only vote for them and overwhelming the system.
Yes. And by the way, it's a strategy that, if allowed to work, would work. And in fact, has worked. California is supermajority Democrat.
Yeah.
And there's so much gerrymandering that occurs. It's crazy.
Yep. Oh man, fired CBS producer Trey Sherman accuses CBS of only firing black people. Says he went up to white people one by one to ask if they were fired. They were not.
I just got laid off from my job at CBS, and every producer on my team who got laid off is a person of color. Every person who gets to stay and will be relocated within the company is a white person. Now, in my meeting with the executive who told me I was getting laid off,
Now, could that be because they're racist, or could it be something else? Like, I don't know, maybe the fact that you just weren't good employees.
specifically asked him if it was a consideration for us to be relocated somewhere else.
Maybe, just maybe, thinking really outside the box here, but maybe you guys never should have been hired to begin with because you didn't qualify for the position.
In the company.
And maybe you got the job not because of your skills and your talents, but because of your skin color. Maybe that's it.
And he said that we advocated to keep the show. We advocated to try to get you relocated somewhere, and we couldn't. Because I asked him, why are you the person who is making this decision or delivering the news that we're being laid off? And he said, oh, it could have been anyone. Only to later find out, because it wasn't until I went downstairs thinking that me and all of my colleagues had been laid off, that I found out that it was only the people of color. So I went one by one to my white colleagues. Are you getting laid off? No. 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 So I went back up to his office and I told him, I think you lied to my face.
Maybe you're getting fired had something to do with this attitude.
And come to find out,
of viewing everything through a racial lens and automatically assuming everything's racist. Maybe people just got sick of that shit. Just saying.
It was not his decision to eliminate the show that I work for. But he did get to decide who got to stay. I told him, you said that you couldn't get us relocated, only to find out that you were able to get some people relocated, and they all happen
not you.
to be white. Am I supposed to believe that that's a coincidence? And he said, yes. I'm supposed to believe that's coincidence. I said, do you believe that's coincidence? He said, I do, because I chose to keep the people who I had worked with before. So mind you, not only is it not based on merit, it is in its result racist. I don't care if you decided to keep people who had purple colored hair.
I wouldn't want to work with you.
Deciding to keep people who you had
Who would with an attitude like this? I mean,
worked with before.
Who would want to be around this?
Which, don't even know if that's true. If the outcome of that decision is racist,
These people just can't seem to bring themselves to look into a mirror. God forbid. Astonishing. Federal agents have been spotted arresting an illegal alien from El Salvador at Salt Lake City Airport, screaming and making a scene, while onlookers chant "Have mercy." Bye bye. Bye bye. I'm sure it's very hard, but you'll have a nice time back home. You'll do just fine. She's a human being, sir. She's a human being. Refried. Or pinto. The FBI stopped a potential terrorist attack. Oh yeah, in Michigan. It's all business. What's the latest on this? I meant to check into this, but I mean, anytime I hear the words Michigan and terrorist plot, my ears perk up. So this may very well be a legit one. Let's see. Give us we'll do the shorter one.
Attack in Michigan. According to Director Kash Patel, the FBI has arrested 5 young people who were allegedly planning a violent attack over Halloween weekend. Arrests were made this morning in the cities of Dearborn and Inkster, just outside of Detroit. Officials say the group has a connection to ISIS extremism, and law enforcement officials are telling NBC News the suspects had access to guns. NBC News national law enforcement and intelligence correspondent Tom Winter joins me now. So, Tom, what more do we know about the plot at this early hour, and how did the FBI learn about it?
Right. So the question about how the FBI learned about it is something that we're still reporting out at this hour. This has been an investigation that's been going on for some time. This is an investigation that expands across other parts of the country as well. It's still very much ongoing, and the charges against these individuals remain sealed. So the specific counts and the actual activities that they allege that they did, that's all information that we're still trying to hear. But there was a reference apparently to Pumpkin Day, and of course today is Halloween, and you're wearing your orange, and we all know what this is about. And
Pumpkin Day?
There's a point, and we've covered this a number of times in these investigations in the past, where the FBI has the ability to monitor, is monitoring, is on top of a plot, tracking it, where's it going, what's happening. And in this particular instance, when they hear that, they have to make a decision of, should we take people off the streets? And so that's why they're saying there's no threat to the public from this group, and so they're not encouraging anybody to change any plans today that's in the greater Detroit area, but it's a reason why they did end up making this arrest.
Listen, it's a close call. It's reassuring to know there's no...
So, I mean, I think it has to be assumed. I haven't really looked, but this area being what it is, this part of Michigan, I think it's pretty safe to assume this was probably Islam-related, Islam-adjacent. Thought I did see somewhere that these were pretty young kids, which is sketchy. Very curious to hear the details here, for sure. Just Michigan being what it is.
The FBI stopped a potential terrorist attack in Michigan, according to Director Kash Patel. The FBI has arrested 5 young people who were allegedly planning a violent attack over Halloween weekend. Arrests were made this morning in the cities of Dearborn and Inkster, just outside of Detroit. Officials say the group has a connection to ISIS extremism, and law enforcement officials are telling NBC News the suspects had access to guns. The FBI
had access to guns. I think I saw a photo somewhere. Big pile of guns and ammunition. Any other clips about this? No. All right. On to the next one. National Guardsman accused of seeking to send photos of sensitive military technology to Russia. Yikes. Tell me more. Juan Canyon Anthony Amaris, age 28, of Alamogordo, New Mexico, was arrested Tuesday and is, accused of photographing a U.S. Army installation at Fort Riley, Kansas, and trying to share the images with someone he believed, was a Russian intelligence officer. I'm going to guess they were not Russian intelligence. Prosecutors say Amaris also agreed to obtain and send a helicopter radio for use by the Russian military. He was indicted for attempting to violate the Export Control Reform Act and made his initial appearance on Thursday. Believed he was working with a Russian intelligence agent, but it was actually, of course, an undercover employee. Moron. Wow. Search warrant reveals that an illegal alien beat a man to death with a bat, crushing his skull in North Carolina on Thursday.
This is the Catawba County home investigators say became the site of a murder investigation Thursday morning when the victim of an assault the night before died at a local hospital. Sheriff's deputies are now charging this man, 49-year-old Roberto Arreola, with murder. A search warrant shows eyewitnesses told police Arreola beat the victim, Jose Figueroa, in the head with a baseball bat. We talked to a man named Benjamin who has family here.
With a bat. And
man.
How crazy is
crazy.
This work?
This work so crazy, man.
Into, and I think we're getting so greedy. I don't know if they argue about money or something.
Oh, sí.
But
sí, señor.
To kill somebody with a bat, ain't no feelings.
That search warrant shows
no feelings.
Investigators seized a baseball bat from this property after witnesses told them they saw a baseball bat in Arreola's pickup truck, which is still here at the scene. Court records show Arreola's listed address is where the crime happened, which deputies noted in the search warrant.
His name is Areola.
Had been turned into
That's funny.
2 or 3 living spaces. Police say when they got to the home for a disorderly conduct call,
there's definitely a bit of a nipple, so that's nice.
We have two identifiable right-wing journalists here.
What?
Please do not engage with them.
Give me one reason.
Golly, these people, man.
I'm right wing.
I'm not engaging with you. First Amendment right.
All your employees not to film me.
We're gonna marshal and we're gonna do our regular thing. I need a couple more people who are trained.
I'm trained. I can do it. You want to give me one? I can do it.
Yeah, sure. So we have some breaking journalists here. We're asking people not to engage with them. You do so at your own time.
No, I'm not with Fox. I'm independent.
No, don't, please
I'm
don't
independent.
engage with them.
What? Let people talk. Let people talk. What? Yeah. So what's your thoughts on
Did you just give him money? Like,
yeah.
definitely definitely sounded like he was handing over cash there.
So what's your thoughts on what's going on here?
Don't engage. No. If you're with us, we're gonna. Okay. No. Okay. I support you. Okay. Then please. She won't let me even say the sentence.
So who is this paid protesting leader that wreaks havoc on our cities and will soon have a heated argument with the police? Her name is Jamie Bauer. She works for Rise and Resist, just like Julie.
Oh.
In fact, you can see them together here with the Karen Kazoo lady. Front and center, Jamie played an integral role in the Tesla takedown protest, referencing Musk's crime spree, whatever that is. Now back again with Karen. Jamie's been protesting in front of Trump Tower for years, and you see Julie right next to her too. This is calculated and the truth is getting out. Here's one of the many issues with Jamie. She works for the MTA, or Metro Transport Authority.
Oh.
She's at more protests than I can count, so is she protesting
Is she doing it on the clock? Like what?
Time. Now Jamie has an obsession with our children. Here she is holding a sign saying libraries are for everyone, backed by the trans flag, coupled with more
Why not just say pedophiles in libraries, please?
Photos of her saying
just say that.
More
say what you mean.
Drag and less hate. There are countless books like this that exist in the schools of your children because of people like Jamie.
I've said it before, but this is a great book for introducing small children to the idea of being non-binary.
She does
grooming
interviews detailing how she doesn't conform to normative gender expressions and details the evolution of her own non-binary trans-masculine identity.
Dear God.
See, Jamie is all about combating fascism and oppression, yet she runs around the protest telling everyone not to speak with an independent reporter.
Seems a little fashy to me.
But let me be clear, people like Jamie threaten ICE agents by saying, ICE agents, the tide will turn, and simultaneously act as if they have the moral high ground.
Well, you have to do better. You have to do better.
Wow. I exposed a paid protester working with a senator. But yeah, I gather there was more to the story here. Nate Friedman. Do I follow Nate Friedman? It was good work there. Okay. On Friday in Evanston, Illinois, chaos ensued when a red car slammed into the back of a DHS vehicle. Oh, is this one of those, what do you call them? Bounties we saw earlier? Someone trying to gather a bounty for harming a DHS or ICE agent. You better back off. Attaboy, whip that gun out. Right in the face. Nailed him. Wow.
An accident was caused. They're attacking a person. Do you have papers?
Do you have papers? I think the entire point is that he does not have papers.
You have papers! My name is Andy Bonanza for the United States!
She, pardon, she.
Get back! Get back! That's how you do it! Get back! Get back!
Don't put your hands on people?
Back up! Don't put your hands on me! Back up! Don't put your hands on me! Nobody's touching you! Nobody's touching you! Get your hands up! Please! Get your hands up! He's not... Get your hands up! Get your hands up!
Good golly.
You fuckers! Leave our...
Oh my god, it's got a whistle.
Yeah, we're watching you fuckers! Leave our neighbors alone!
Leave our what alone? Our what?
Leave our neighbors alone!
Our what? Leave our what alone?
Our neighbors alone!
That sounds really close to another word. Hmm. Leave our nibbers alone. Nibba what? All right.
Hello, Vice President Vance.
J.D. Vance warning of the dangers of AI surveillance and data hoarding. Interesting.
How you doing? Good. I have a question.
I missed this one.
Do you condone large private corporations such as Palantir
Ooh, hit him with the Palantir question. Good. Hey boy, good question.
hoarding data caches on U.S. citizens?
No, I don't condone it. And here's the thing. So I get asked about Palantir a lot because there's this internet meme out there that somehow I am super in bed with Palantir. And here's the thing that I'd say
Yeah, I don't know that is true.
about this. Palantir is a
I think Palantir has probably supported, but what does that really mean?
private company.
I mean, people with Palantir have probably offered their private support, but again, what does that really mean?
Sometimes do
I mean, maybe it means they're trying to influence him in some way, but is he actually responding to it in that fashion? That's what really matters. I mean, is he actually... Sounds like no. We'll see.
useful service, and sometimes they're going to do things that we don't like. You should be demanding that your representatives do two things when it comes to Palantir or when it comes to any other technology company. Number one, protecting your data. What's going on with artificial intelligence is going to mean that there are massive inducements to steal your data, to harvest it, and to use it against you to sell digital advertisements.
Yep.
That is not what I believe in, and I've been fighting against it, whether it's Palantir or any other technology company, literally before I ran for office. When I ran for office, I was criticized by Republicans in my Republican Senate primary because I was talking then about Google and Facebook harvesting our data. It's unacceptable. I don't care who does it. I don't want them to do it. Number two, and this is also very important, what's going on with artificial intelligence, we got to be worried about large-scale surveillance, okay?
Absolutely.
Everything. When you asked about Palantir.
Glad this question came up. Good to hear it from him.
Do you know that every time you make a credit card transaction, the credit card companies are collecting data on how you spend your money? Do you know that every time you linger over a link on the internet for more than a half second,
Yep.
the search engines are collecting data on you so that they can sell you advertisements? One of the biggest questions for American policy over the next 10 years is how to ensure that you are a sovereign citizen. And you cannot be a sovereign citizen if any
Interesting language there. Whoa. Whoa there, JD.
private corporation or any
You're going to get the sovereign citizen tards all worked into a frenzy.
government can steal something from you that belongs to you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There's a great little exchange there, though. It was like, I need more of that. Because that question has floated around out there for ages and ages and ages. No one in the media has ever, at least as far as I'm aware, asked him about it, at least in that fashion. Such a direct question. And it needed to be asked. It needed to be asked and answered. And he gave a great answer. It was a good answer. Something that should have been asked months ago.
This is ridiculous. I don't know how to go live on Facebook, so I'm just gonna record this bullshit, this nonsense. Embarrassed as an American. I hope I don't get arrested. I'm embarrassed as an American. I want everybody to hear me. I'm embarrassed as an American to see what's going on in this Uber lot. Embarrassed. Embarrassed as an American. You got it. I know I have white girl privilege, so I don't care. I got white girl privilege. I get it. I get it. I get it. Because this is absolutely ridiculous. This is embarrassing as an American.
They won't do it with the mask off.
What?
They won't do it with the mask off.
Of course not. Of course
They won't do what for basketball?
it's not. This is absolutely embarrassing. A checkpoint at the Uber lot right now, going over all these people's IDs. That's why it's surging here. I was like, what the heck? Let me give it a try. And this is what they're doing to all these people. Checkpoint. This is live. I don't know how to go live.
Catch all those, all those Mr. Singhs driving Ubers.
Live on Facebook. I'm going to
That's right. They don't just drive trucks. They like driving Ubers too.
post this. Okay.
Yes, the Singh family has done very well for themselves here in this country. All 100,000 of them, at least. Could be 1 million. I don't even know how many Singhs there are.
Would you ever live in a Muslim country?
I have.
Yeah.
It's been a wonderful experience.
Which country?
Pakistan.
Well, even countries that have Sharia law instituted?
I would. I am Muslim, so obeying Sharia isn't that different for me. I do it anyway, even though it isn't like a U.S. law requirement.
Yeah.
So I fully would live in a Muslim country.
Do you think that Sharia law would be better in the U.S. than the current U.S. law?
I personally do think that the place would benefit from it as a Muslim.
Would you ever live in a Muslim country?
Ooh-wee.
Biden was ever involved in any...
Oh, okay, Comer. What's Comer got here? This is from last night. It's now to Attorney General Pam Bondi as to whether Joe Biden's auto-pen pardons and actions are officially nullified and voided. Oh, it's coming.
of the decision making.
It's coming.
And normally when you have...
and then you know what's coming after that? The authorities for Anthony Fauci. That's what.
Meetings and discussions on things like pardons and other high-profile events that would be presidential level. You would have notes. You would have meetings. Right. There would be emails. There would be things in the schedule for meetings. Nothing pertaining to Joe Biden. We gave every staffer, the 12 staffers that we brought in for depositions were the ones that we knew had the influence over the auto pen. They all were inconsistent in the process. The emails were even contradict what the deposition said. And at the end of the day, I think we've gotten as much information as we can get to determine what we've determined. Now we've handed it over to Pam Bondi, right. And we've made notes to the Attorney General. If there's further things that we can do as a committee, we'll do them. But we're going to wait for guidance from her. This is a serious issue, and all those pardons should be declared null and void. Biden was ever.
Oh, they will. They will. Just wait. Someone's been working on that. Name's probably Ed Martin. Just saying. Judge Boasberg must be impeached, and I stand with my friend Rep. Brandon Gill in working to make this a reality. That's right. Brandon Gill submitted articles of impeachment against Boasberg or something. I think I heard that last night.
What should happen to Judge Boasberg here?
He should be impeached. This is why I'm glad that my colleague out of Texas, Representative Brandon Gill, is actually filing those documents to have him impeached. You can't have a judge just be rogue in our system of justice, helping to aid a rogue prosecutor like Jack Smith to start targeting any American, let alone United States senators. This is outrageous. And once again, it demonstrates the length to which the Democrats would stoop in order to keep political power in the United States. This is not about the Constitution. This is not about the American people. This is about their craven desire to remain in power. And you can look at this shutdown or anything else that's going on this year to demonstrate the fact that the Democrats do not care what lever they have to pull or where they have to go to. It's about power for them first, second, and third, not the American people, not the Constitution.
Yep.
What should happen?
Unbelievable. What the heck, dude? Columbus, Ohio. This is a rally for a candidate in Columbus, Ohio.
Uplift one another. We are all here today uplifting one another because we believe in Somalia. We believe in unity. That's why we are here today. So to that,
What? Then what? Maybe I'm missing something here, but why aren't you in Somalia?
I say make sure you are registered to vote. Make sure
I mean, since you believe in it so much.
Are engaged for the next few months. I will need a lot of volunteers to help me knock doors, to continue to collect signatures, and I will need all of you.
You know where else you could do that? Somalia. You could go knock on doors in Somalia.
To reach out
And then you could stay there, where you belong.
to your neighbors and to let one another.
Wouldn't that be so nice? Seattle far-left woman named Hannah Saunders criticizes her Antifa comrades for letting a flyer for a planned violent attack get into the hands of an outsider. Wow. The direct action was called off after right-wingers said they'd be coming with cameras to document. Yeah, what was the story with this? The anarchist book fair thing? Yeah, I saw Kim Higby talking about this the other day. Flyer was distributed at an anarchist book fair in Seattle, calling for Antifa tards to show up in block, like dressed in black bloc, mask, the whole nine, at 7:30 p.m. on Thursday to Volunteer Park. I wish he'd linked to the thing showing the flyer, but oh well, I don't see it. All right, let's see. Let's see what the Seattle Hag has to say.
Seattle
Frickin' nose ring every time.
people, stay the fuck home tonight. Lock your doors. Here's what's going on. For those who don't know me, my name's Hannah Saunders. I left mainstream media to launch an independent publication called Through the Static. A few weeks ago, some folks on the left created a flyer that was passed around at an anarchist book fair that said, dress in block and go to Volunteer Park at 7:30 on October 30th for direct action. Now, a right-winger was at this book fair and was handed one of these flyers. And so now this person has blasted it all over social media, and now what we have are a bunch of people, live streamers, right-wingers, content creators, wannabe journalists in Seattle, and
Wannabe journalists. Wannabe journalists.
coming up from Portland to come here to Volunteer Park to specifically fight people dressed in block to get content for propaganda. Now this is directly for the people who
Oh. Really? What is this? The story about the woman who found the first J6 DC pipe bomb is blowing apart. Carlin Younger was her name, if I remember right. From Revolver News, story about the woman who supposedly stumbled upon the first J6 pipe bomb is starting to collapse under its own weight. Raises far more questions than answers. For those who've read our work, you already know we spent years digging into the story. What's the latest? Just give me the skinny, man. Give me the goods. Yeah, there's all the new footage. Woman at the center of the story, the one who supposedly discovered the first pipe bomb, has a timeline and story that just don't match the evidence. Huh. Let's see. Julie Kelly says, I want to give context to new DNC pipe bomb video we just posted. 1238, Carlin Younger, who at the time worked for FirstNet, which is, yeah, like they're basically like, I don't know that private intelligence is quite the right term, but they're like kind of in that general field. I think they like offer services to law enforcement and first responders and stuff. Vaguely recall something to that effect. Okay, so she found the pipe bomb in an alley near RNC HQ. She told the media she was doing laundry and looked down and saw the device. This is what happened next. Much more on this soon. Green Awning is Capitol Hill Club. Yep, big hangout for congressional Republicans. Nice place. Who among us doesn't find a bomb then run back to where it's ticking away while trying to find someone to help. So this is Carlin Younger here. We're about to watch. Coming out of her apartment. There's Capitol Hill Club. Going back into the alleyway. Running out of the alleyway. Looking around. Going into Capitol Hill Club. Trying to anyway. Not succeeding. Coming back out. Looking around. Now goes back to the pipe bomb. Goes back towards the explosive device. Seems an odd move. Next, you see Carlin Younger casually walking back to her apartment. Yeah, this is a key part here. 1 month before January 6th, the FBI awarded a $92 million grant to FirstNet. Now, personally, I have always said from a long while back that the pipe bomber is a woman. I don't know. I think people need to look into Carlin Younger a little deeper, personally. Less than 10 minutes later, just as Congress is preparing to convene. Oh, hold on. We didn't play that one. So Trump is still speaking at the time when this is going on. This is 15 minutes before the start of the joint session of Congress to debate the election results. There she is after going back to the bomb. Now she's casually walking out. Crosses the street. Oh, wait, who this? This an officer? Here she is going back to her apartment after finding an explosive device around the corner. You would think that she would be, I don't know, clearing the area and warning anyone in the vicinity to get the fuck out. But no, back to her apartment. This guy here is talking to Capitol Police. Calling something in. Here comes the popo. There they are. Putting up some caution tape. All right, what's next? Less than 10 minutes later, just as Congress is preparing to convene, an individual apparently assigned to Kamala Harris's detail carries a bag to the area where the pipe bomb is found 15 minutes later. That's interesting. Where's the person with the bag? There we go. Yep. Oh, there he is again. Coming back with the bag. What the heck, man? Did they plant it? Was she supposed to find it and then, you know, she got back there and the thing wasn't there and that's why she was freaking out? No idea. Weird. This coincided at the same time as the Ray Epps Ryan Samsel breach of the west side of the Capitol grounds at 12:53. Insane. And bike racks. Unbelievable. Bike racks to control a crowd of 1 million plus. Yeah, that does not add up, man. Nothing about that day adds up at all. This is right around the same time that I arrived in the city. Literally, like, right outside Capitol Hill Club, actually, pretty much. Like, right around the corner. Okay. All right, let's see what's next. Any more in the story here? Okay. Yeah, the 20-minute timer. All right, let's see. Julie Kelly also called out the bizarre nature of the 20-minute timer, another strange bit from Carlin's story. Her claims about the 20-minute timer raise a larger question. Why did the FBI, for years, refuse to challenge Younger's assertions since investigators knew as early as January 13th, 2021, the date of the Quantico lab report, that there was no way for either device to indicate time? Huh. The FBI let the story slide for years. Little to no interest in asking her additional questions. Gee, I wonder why that would be, even though she should have been on a suspect list. Yeah. Stephen D'Antuono, who oversaw the pipe bomb investigation, admitted that whoever discovers the device is somebody you need to talk to because they could be the one who planted the device in the first place. You know, that's just investigation 101. You don't say. Massey asked asked D'Antuono if Carlin Younger was ruled out as a suspect or an unwitting accomplice to somebody. D'Antuono replied, "I don't know." Jeez. Something sketchy, man. The whole thing. Her whole story is just weird. And those connections to FirstNet are just... It really doesn't get any weirder than that. Alright, let me see. Real quick. I wonder where all my old stuff went. All my old footage from that day. Trying to see if I came up in that spot there at the subway. Yeah, I don't know where I tucked all my footage away to. Let me check one spot here. Let's see if we can find it. Videos 2021. Yeah, I don't know where I saved it all. I know I got it somewhere. Oh well. Too bad. Alright, let's keep going. Oops. There we are. United Nations said Friday that U.S. airstrikes on alleged drug trafficking boats in the Caribbean and Pacific violate international human rights law and must stop. Yeah, okay. Whatever. Whatever, bro. UPenn got hacked. Penn hackers threatened to leak woke University of Pennsylvania student data. Interesting. Dear Penn community, the University of Pennsylvania is a dogshit elitist institution full of woke retards. We have terrible security practices and are completely unmeritocratic. We hire and admit morons because we love legacies, donors, and unqualified affirmative action admits. We love breaking federal laws like FERPA. All your data will be leaked, and Supreme Court rulings like SFFA. Please stop giving us money. Warm regards, University of Pennsylvania. Ha! They actually sent this out. That's hilarious. The hackers, looks like, sent out a mass email from the UPenn official email. That's great. 2 federal judges ruled the Trump admin must tap into billions in emergency funds to at least partially cover food stamp benefits in November. Oh my goodness. Here we go. It starts. In a historic move for the Middle East, the president of Syria will be traveling to Washington on November 10th and meeting with President Trump at the White House. The first time ever that a Syrian president visited the White House, according to Axios. That is indeed a big deal. Mohammed al-Jalani, apparently. Sketchy. Al-Nusra Front.
There's no do-overs. I said this from the very moment. You remember back in 2020, I'm yelling and screaming in this microphone, and we're 100% correct. Not 99, not 98, not 99.999, 100%. You got these damn ballots down there. These people fought for 5 years, and they've had subpoenas before. They've had all this hospitality. They've had judges. That crew down, the same crew that was going to put Trump in prison. In bald daylight, this is my point. They know they stole the frickin' thing.
Oh, yeah.
And what are they going to do for the people that said, no, we got to get to the bottom of this? They're going to put Trump in prison. And then you got all the other electors. And, hey, the electors is a different issue. I was not an electors guy. You don't need it because it's not going to matter. They're not going to vote for your electors. It's not relevant. They can't certify his. Get focused. They can't certify his. They can't certify his. It goes into the House of Representatives. And guess what? You're president of the United States again. Now, as we know, divine providence, the will of God works in mysterious ways. And it's not for us to judge. But you know what? We needed that steel. Was important because we needed to go into the wilderness for 4 years. We were not prepared at that time to make the fundamental changes in this country that we needed to make, given where that administration was ended up and all the globalists and everybody fighting Trump. Look at Trump's fight from the time of the pandemic, and you saw it every day here on that show, in this show. And look at the Summer of Love. From that time on, it was warfare. In this second term right now, this glorious revolution that we're doing every day, and I just got to watch, I just broke down last night and watched all the hours of the MSNBC Live just to watch it. And Chris Hayes, the first guy to come out there. And Chris Hayes is one of the smartest. He's the acolyte of Maddow. He's one of their smartest guys. He comes out and he says the first thing he tells them is that, hey, you got to understand, these guys believe it, and they're moving at the most rapid pace of any country in the world to achieve their objectives. Full stop. You should have seen the audience in shock. Because he's a guy that watches closely. We would have never been able to do that unless we had the years in the wilderness. This is what makes this story so epic. It's epic. Why did I sit here on the afternoon of the 20th of January 2021? By the way, in the first minutes, the Chinese Communist Party, right, says full sanctions on Pottinger, Navarro, Pompeo, and Bannon. 5 minutes, no response from the State Department, of course. Who cares? The Biden and those guys are all in business with him. And what did I call him? An illegitimate regime. Not an administration, an illegitimate regime. An illegitimate regime. Why was it illegitimate? Because they stole the 2020 election. Had I mentioned that? Did I mention that? You don't have to take your number 2 pencil out and write this down. Let this be emblazoned. Let this be burned into your soul. Because all the things going on, you got to keep focused on what do we have to do to make sure that we can take this apparatus down and like a Carthaginian piece. You take it apart and then you bury it and then you put salt on it so nothing ever comes back from it again. Rough Roman justice for this crowd. And we're not moving fast enough, and we're not moving tough enough, and I'm sorry if I'm hurting some feelings here. I don't give a damn about your feelings. Here's what I care about. The only thing I care about is victory on this. And if you're not interested in victory, then get the hell out of the way. And no more, I don't want any more letters. I don't want any more, we got to do this. Get a U.S. Marshal and get a warrant and go down and seize those ballots today, not tomorrow, today. You don't think they would destroy the evidence? For this very issue, they were putting Trump in prison for decades to have him die in prison. And if they had the opportunity, if it wasn't a clown car down there, they would have done it. You know what the Republican establishment down there did to assist people that said, the country, we're burning the Constitution and we must stop this. We cannot allow this to happen. No, the business community, because the business community, these guys are all, they're never going to stand in the breach. This is my problem with the oligarchs. They're never going to stand in the breach because their values are not your values. Your values are back to the core essentials of this republic and the reason we've been around for 250 years. As a republic, do good days and bad days. Why? We have a constitution, but we also have something deeper than the Constitution. Deeper than the Constitution. Because yes, Mark Levin, at the end of the day, you don't worship the Constitution. It's a contract. A divinely inspired contract. Kind of a merger of equals of things that were not equal. And worked out. And became a beautiful foundational element to govern what went from a vast wilderness to a global power, the greatest nation in the history of the earth. Not the greatest nation now, the greatest nation in the history of the earth. Freed more people, created more wealth, did more good. For all of our faults, and our faults sometimes have been pretty grievous, our greatness is we rose above those faults. And you're telling me in a warehouse in Fulton County, somewhere in Georgia, sits the receipts and the evidence that they stole an election, and that 5 years afterwards we're going to send a letter and play by their rules? If the Trump revolution shows you anything, it's to hell with their rules. If Trump played by their rules, he would have finished 16th in a 16-man race in the primary back in 2015 and 2016. These people against us are evil. and they control an apparatus that's virtually all-powerful. And they ain't giving it up. And they're particularly not going to give it up. You think they're going to give it? You think Johnson scares them? You think John Thune scares? They're part of the system. If you want to save your country, just like in the movie The Untouchables, they know where the whiskey is. Do you have the courage to take the axe and beat down the door and go through it? Because once you go through it, there's no coming back. Yes, look at Arthur Frost. They're going to put you in prison. They're going to bankrupt you. They're going to deplatform you. If you're not prepared to do that, then get out of the way. You're not in this fight. You're just an observer. That's what connects Caroline Jeffords and Sally Grubbs to Phyllis Schlafly.
Indeed. Miss Schlafly. Quite a lady. Oh, George Santos, that's right, he's out. The George Santos interview. Oh, that should be fun. Muslim culture in prison. Prison drug problems. Ugh. All right, Brandon Meltdown we saw. It was fantastic. Excellent. Good to see you getting more play here. Although I wish you would have credited Mr. Speciale for his work there. Federal judge denies New York AG Letitia James' request to monitor DOJ's media contacts in criminal case. Wah wah. Ah, look at that. Ed Martin on, oh, well, Phyllis Schlafly, yeah. Ed runs the, Schlafly Eagles, has for a long time. And, they're a good group. Ed is a good guy.
And it's a wonderful debate for kids to young people to watch. But one thing I say is, you said courage. When you know what you believe in, you, as Phyllis used to say.
And by the way, the reason that Mr. Martin has been stuck where he's at, weaponizations are, and especially at the pardon office. Seemed at the time like he was getting, you know, because originally he was going to be the D.C., the attorney for U.S. attorney for D.C. That fell through, or seemed to, and then they kind of stuck him back in the pardon office, like it was a concession prize. Oh no, there was. In fact, I wouldn't be too surprised to find out that that was where they intended to put him to begin with. Mr. Martin is key to a lot of the things playing out right now.
You just got to stand for it. And it doesn't mean you're not a happy warrior. You know, she was a happy warrior, but you got to stand for it. And there's going to be costs. There's going to be, she got sued, attacked, betrayed by people after she endorsed Trump. I mean, I did too. A lot of us did, right? And it was vicious. And I remember asking her, how come you're not bitter? And she said, I'm not bitter because you do the right thing. She's like, you know, what are you going to do? Do the wrong thing and have people like you? And she did that her whole career. And she did it with respect. I mean, when you watch that debate, she's not mean. She's just saying, hey, here's the facts, actually. Here's what's going on. And she's a lesson for us. But she also knew, Steve, last thing I'll say, I'm headed out to the airport, is she knew the stakes. One time she said to me about Trump, she said, and she was public, she said, he may be our last best hope. She saw the precipice we were on, and she knew, and when she was dying, she said to me, one of her last words to me was, keep going, because as you know, Steve, and all of us, there's times where you just get tired. You're like, you know, I could do something else. I could be, and the message from her and all of us is, hey, keep going because of what's at stake. If it was a debate about, you know, should we have a marginal tax rate of 15 or 20, whatever. This is a you know, civilization moment, and Phyllis knew it, and she knew. Last thing, Trump, you know, Trump's a master in many ways, but he called her on her birthday, and I was at her house. Phone rings, picks it up. She says, "Oh, hi, Mr. Trump." She always called him Mr. Trump, and they talked back and forth about 5 minutes, and she's laughing like a schoolgirl. And I get off, and I say, "What did he say?" And she said, "He wished me a happy birthday." And I said, "What else?" And she said, "We just talked." You know, now that touch, and I remember she would say, "I trust him." You know what? And like somebody, her 92 years old, she's been around the block. She's seen them all. And she says, I trust them. I used to tell people, well, am I supposed to listen to you? You're 54 years old and you've been around the block once. She's been around 100 times. She says, I trust him. So it was great. And I'm glad Hemingway pushed back on that. And I appreciate the chance to say a few words.
I like it.
Hey everybody, Cara Castronova here at the office of Senator.
That's quite long. We'll skip that. We got more to get to. Liberals promising to never fly with United Airlines after the CEO demanded Chuck Schumer and Democrats reopen the government by passing the Clean CR.
Start by really thanking the professionals, the air traffic controllers, the folks at the TSA, also the FAA, the people in management. They're working hard. They are keeping the skies safe. They've minimized delays. Fewer than 2% of flights have been delayed so far because of air traffic control shortages. So they've done a great job. But it's putting stress on people. It's not fair to those people. It's also putting stress on the economy. You know, the first couple of weeks this had no impact on the economy, but as every day goes by, the impacts start to grow. And airlines are a pretty good real-time indicator of the economy, and we start to see still minor but steep booking impact, and you see that happening in the economy. We put the whole economy at risk. And so it's been 30 days, and while I don't have a position on which part is inside and how things should be settled with healthcare, it has been 30 days. I also think it is time to pass a Clean CR, use that as the opportunity to get into a room behind closed doors and negotiate hard on the real and substantive issues that the American people want our politicians on both sides of the aisle to solve. But let's get a Clean CR and get that negotiation done behind closed doors without the pressure, without putting the American workers in.
Embassies in the country of Mali urged citizens to depart the country immediately this week, while the U.S. and U.K. withdrew non-essential staff as a fuel blockade by jihadists upturns daily life. Ugh. Federal judge rules Trump can't require citizenship proof on federal voting form. That's absurd. Secretary of State Marco Rubio slammed the Miami Herald on social media Friday, accusing the paper of publishing a fake story about a supposed impending U.S. military strike on Venezuela, like on their actual territory. I think Trump was asked about that too, and basically said, yeah, that's not happening. Silly. Local news reports said immigration agents were seen wearing Halloween masks in Los Angeles. When asked about the report, a DHS spokeswoman said, "Happy Halloween." What? Interesting. I'd love to see some photos of that. Diddy transferred to prison to serve prostitution-related sentence. Right, out of jail, on to prison. Antifa militants arrested by the federal police last night at ICE facility in Portland. Still going on. I'm waiting for my license to get here, gosh darn it. Meanwhile, in Chicago, father pistol whipped in the mouth, beaten, robbed, and carjacked by Chicago thugs in front of his child in broad-ass daylight on Halloween. But yeah, hey, ICE and Border Patrol are Nazis. We're trying to put a stop to this. Whoa. Jeez. Trying to get his keys or something? Off they go. Welcome to Chicago. Emails reveal that Jeffrey Epstein was investigated for money laundering. Federal prosecutor requested that a grand jury issue subpoenas for every financial transaction conducted by Epstein and his 6 businesses dating back to 2003. He even called one of Epstein's most important clients. Huh. Oh, really? No joke. That's interesting. Rap star Nicki Minaj. Rather disgusting woman, broadly speaking, but she's apparently thanking Trump for addressing the persecution of Christians in Nigeria.
The Trump administration is being urged to designate Nigeria a country of particular concern over the persecution and mass murder of Christians. Greg Palcott joins us now. Good morning, Greg.
Hey, Ainsley, that's right. Christians are being singled out and targeted in that country, as the church some in Washington and elsewhere are making. It is a perilous and a deadly tale. The populous Western African country is, quote, one of the most dangerous places in the world to be a Christian. That's according to the well-regarded Open Doors International Group. Thousands of Christians have been killed there over the years. Churches, schools, homes destroyed, lives uprooted, some even branded genocide. All of this has caught the attention of lawmakers, including Senator Ted Cruz, who wants Nigeria to be designated a country of particular concern with severe violations of religious freedom. Here's what he said this week.
The government of Nigeria is very unhappy, and I've said, look, there are far too many government leaders who have turned a blind eye to what is happening, who have acquiesced in what is happening, who are enforcing either Sharia laws or blasphemy laws and facilitating the persecution of Christians.
Nigeria has blasted this and other attacks, calling them a gross misrepresentation of reality. One analyst says it's less the Nigerian government being in cahoots with those doing harm to Christians, more the inability of the government to protect its citizens. And other analysts say it's more complicated, with those of all faiths being hurt. Christians and Muslims hit by the strict rules and the violence of the Islamist Boko Haram terror group in the north. Mostly Muslim Nigerians who herd livestock going after mostly Christian farmers for more land in the center of the country, and criminal gangs and anti-government forces taking advantage of the unrest nationwide. Ainsley, earlier this year, Washington approved the sale of $346 million worth of weapons to Nigeria to fight this trouble. For the sake of Christians and all, many are hoping all that goes into the right hands. Back to you.
Absolutely. Such a scary situation. We have to pray for them. Thank you so much, Greg.
Yikes. Nicki Minaj has thanked Trump.
Happy Halloween, kids. And remember, say thank you.
Shut up. There we go. Stop. Okay. Christianity is facing an existential threat in Nigeria, Trump wrote on Truth Social. Minaj is open about her Christian faith and said the president's statement made her feel a deep sense of gratitude. Reading this made me feel a deep sense of gratitude. We live in a country where we can freely worship God. No group should ever be persecuted for practicing their religion. We don't have to share the same beliefs in order for us to respect each other. Fair enough. All right. Numerous countries all around the world are being affected by this horror, and it's dangerous to pretend we don't notice. Yeah. Thank you to the president and his team for taking this seriously. God bless every persecuted Christian let's remember to lift them up in prayer. Well, I mean, that's nice. I agree, Miss Minaj. Maybe we should think about, I don't know, not doing the, I don't even want to say it. You know the song. You know the song, Nikki. You know the song that you shouldn't be doing. It's disgusting. Obscene. Yeah, WAP. That one. That one. And that's her. All right, let's see. We got 10 minutes left. What was that last... Hold on. Let's go back to that extended interview with... Who was it? Yeah, there was Santos. I thought there was another one, though. Where did it go? Like a 20-minute. Somewhere in here. I don't know.
Yes.
I think we missed this one. Yeah, we did. I don't know how we missed these. Oh yeah, refurbished bathroom in the White House. For Lincoln bedroom bathroom. Pretty cool. All right, let's do this O'Keefe video. Nonprofit executive caught instructing illegal immigrant to vote in New York City mayoral election. Wow.
Yes, I'm an immigrant. They sent me here to vote. I was recommended to come here to find information to vote.
Wow.
Sorry?
When did you register to vote?
I didn't sign anything. They just told me to come here to vote.
Okay. Vote through. Okay, but they got the circle.
This is Michael Casey, correspondent with O'Keefe Media Group, reporting from New York City just before Halloween. And the only thing scarier than all the ghosts and the goblins and this rain this Halloween is a possibility of illegal aliens voting in our elections for mayor. Just last year, James O'Keefe encountered a man in New York City who ran a church called La Jornada in Queens.
Hey, this is you.
Now, Mr. Rodriguez was allowing illegal aliens to sign false documents to help them live in this country illegally and bypass the law.
What I found most odd is that Pedro Rodriguez would keep telling me that I did not reside at an address that he personally signed the letter saying that I resided at.
I encountered this man once again 1 year later. Same name, different address, same blue shirt, same tie. I encountered this man posing as an illegal alien, telling him I was new to this country, I just got here a couple months ago. I was not registered to vote, not a citizen, but I wanted to vote in this year's election. And what does he do? Like clockwork, he springs into action to help me.
Yes, I'm an immigrant.
Wow.
They sent me here to vote. I was recommended to come here to find information to vote. I was given those locations. I will show
those,
you.
Those locations.
I am no Espanol.
No, I think that's perfectly.
Thank you, sir. What's your name, sir?
Those locations.
Pedro.
No pleasure. Yeah.
Miguel. Sorry?
When did you register to vote?
I didn't sign anything. They just told me to come here to vote.
Okay.
And he tells me to go to a local community college just around the corner to go vote in the election for mayor.
That's close, right?
Just across the street.
Across the street?
Yeah.
Thank you. And so I can go there and cast my vote for mayor?
And I told him, still posing as legal alien, who should I vote for? He gave me a wink and a nod. He told me, vote for the man whose name begins with the letter M.
No. It's 3 guys. Okay, I really can tell you vote to. Okay, but they got the circle M.
Now, which candidate and for mayor has a letter M in the beginning of his name? Is it Curtis Sliwa? No. Is it Andrew Cuomo? No. Is it Zoran Mondani? Most likely, the same candidate who's running on a platform of aiding illegal aliens and giving them assistance to bypass ICE and avoid deportation. It's no coincidence that this so-called pastor who just last year was caught by James O'Keefe is now telling illegal aliens to not only vote in this election, but vote for the candidate for mayor who's trying to help illegal aliens. So we paid him a visit. These two had questions as well.
Yeah. I remember me.
You are a bunch of thieves and criminals and liars. You are unbelievable.
Stamping fake addresses. I'm the guy that I know you, right? You got all these fake documents right here? Yeah, it's me. I'm James O'Keefe.
Okay, hello, sir.
You just told him to vote for Mandami.
No.
You said vote for the guy with the M. That's what you said.
Vote to, okay, but the guy that said M. How many people, how many judges have M's in there?
You just told him to vote
for mayor.
He's not a legal citizen.
Hello. Do I have it wrong where he have wrong?
Yeah, but you gave him advice.
No, and that, what is the word?
Just like you told me to stamp fake name.
But you just mentioned what, right? What you said?
Yeah, what did he tell you?
I said that I was not registered, and I said, who should I vote for mayor? And he said, vote for the mayor with the M. Sorry?
When did you register to vote?
I did not. I didn't sign anything. They just told me to come here to vote.
Okay.
I said yes, I did. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, what you said?
I said it, so.
Yeah.
Just like this scheme with the documents from last year, remember?
Remember?
I steal children. I steal children. We're investigative reporters. How am I stealing children?
Why?
Yes.
I don't know. First of all, you're entering here illegally.
How am I entering here illegally?
Because police are there.
Do you want me to go?
Yes.
Okay, I leave. Why do you tell people to vote illegally, sir? Why do you tell people to vote illegally?
I said that I was not registered, and I was here a few months.
Oh, I remember you. You're the wife, right? Yes. You're breaking the law, ma'am. You're breaking the law. You're breaking the law. They just kicked us out.
All this and more on our Election Day special this Tuesday on social media. And for more of our content, go to O'KeefeMediaGroup.com. Make a donation if you support our work, tax-deductible, nonprofit, and Citizen Journalist Foundation. Please support our work, and thank you. This is Michael Casey reporting from O'Keefe Media Group here in New York City. Remember to vote if you're a legal citizen.
Man, oh man. Wow. Okay. Oh, happened Friday night. The Trump admin has just banned reporters from a part of the White House after several members of the media were caught secretly recording video and audio and taking photos of sensitive information without permission. What? Huh? I want to know more. Reporters have also spied on private closed-door meetings and wandered into restricted areas near the Oval Office and have been seen ambushing cabinet officials after private meetings. Okay. Trump dining with Marco Rubio at Mar-a-Lago last night. I think we skipped over this one too. Let's see.
After they went to the rally, they realized that their base was only more dug in. So now, what the Democrats are literally telling us this, they plan on open it back up probably Wednesday or Thursday after the election, after they elect a communist in New York to be the mayor, after the New Jersey's gubernatorial race, after Virginia's governor's race. They're going to come out. They're going to look for an exit ramp because they know they're losing. Shoot, even CNN's polls are showing that this isn't good for them. The American people have already been exposed to, Congresswoman Clark by saying that this is a leverage point for them. You had Chuck Schumer say every day's getting better for them. You had Senator Coons from Delaware goes out and says it's uncomfortable, but it's a leverage point. And even Bernie Sanders goes out and says they can't open it back up because they lose leverage. But they also know they need an exit ramp. So after the election, Kellyanne, they're going to come out, and at that point, they're going to go out there and rail that they're going to take the high road. They're going to try spinning it on President Trump and the Republicans. And after they get done talking their way out of, I don't know, themselves, they're going to eventually open it up probably Thursday, I'd say midday.
Interesting. Oh, John Brennan again. Frickin' on the DC Metro? Shit. Damn it. I could have caught him on the Metro. I was there.
So I was just trying to get you to clear it up. If you saw the dossier before the election. Read my memoir. I've read excerpts of it. But what are you concerned?
What's wrong with his neck?
About a possible
He got a boo-boo on his neck.
indictment coming from DOJ?
Been scratching your neck a bit too much there, or?
What do you think about the situation now? Anything you could say, sir. Just want to clear the record, give you a chance to talk. But did you see it, the Steele dossier, or not? That's pretty much the gist of the situation,
Where was
right?
it? Oh, this is freaking at GMU. Oh my gosh, I was so close.
Right?
Ugh.
You have nothing to say, sir, about it?
It's all on the record. It's all on my memoir.
Yeah, that's precisely, yeah, that's the point.
Will you be
It is all on the record in your emails that we have.
involved at all in testimony before the Judiciary Committee in the coming weeks? Or
Could have
coming
asked him if he's received a grand jury subpoena yet.
months? Could you just maybe tell us what you think about the
Oh, here
direction of
comes the choo-choo. You can run away in just a second.
the intelligence community now
Almost here.
under Trump?
Choo-choo. I love DC Metro stations, by the way. Coolest aesthetic. Like, I love the way they design these. Beautiful location. All right. We saw the Navy Yard chaos. I think that about does it. Cool. We'll call it quits there. Brennan is getting confronted left and right. Fantastic. It's great. He's cooked. He's fried. All right, that does it for me. I think Sonny's in. How you doing?
Hi,
Hello,
Pam.
hello. How are you?
I'm good. How
Good.
are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah. Not terribly. No, we've had some kids coming around here and there, but yeah. I would definitely say that over the years we've seen a decline for sure. Right? Yeah, I don't know what it is. Oh, your mic is like super quiet, by the way. Yeah, it's like really, really. Still pretty quiet. Nope. Getting a little better, getting a little better. There we go. That's a little better. That's decent. Cool. That works. All right. Well, anyway, I'll let you get to your show. Yeah. Have a good one. Bye. Okay. There we go. That does it for me, YouTube. It's been fun. That's it. I will see you guys. Let's see. Monday morning. Monday morning is the next time I'm on. So I'll see you then. Have a great rest of your weekend. Rest up tomorrow. And get ready, because this week's going to be a fun one. All right? Bye-bye.